Hey, what's up? My name is Linus. I'm a film photographer from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I just moved to Los Angeles, California, all the way across the country. I've never lived by myself before. I've never lived in a studio, so I thought I'd do a little bit of an apartment tour to show you what the apartment of a film photographer looks like. Pretty much, I honestly live and breathe film photography. It's all I spend my time doing outside of maybe some video games, some TV watching, and some furniture design dreaming, which we'll get into probably soon. So there's a lot of things in here that really inspire me and my work and my everyday life. So I just want to go through and show you how I live, I guess. Let's get to it. And yeah, okay. That was the best one, sort of?
Yeah, just keep going with what you're saying no matter what.
Okay, so this is my bedroom. What I think is really cool is these four prints that I have here. I think I have a apartment tour video 2 apartments ago, 2 years ago now, where I also have these 4 prints up on the wall at the same time. Very briefly, these prints are made by this company called Fracture that I've done a bunch of videography work for. And what I really love about them is they make these glass prints that have no paper in them at all. So they print directly onto the glass. Beside the fractures, the real important thing in this scene is this lamp here. I feel like it kind of fills the space real nice. Is this good?
Yeah, this is really good.
But yeah, I love this lamp because it produces a really nice, beautiful light, and I think it fills the space perfectly. But I guess this sort of area here, I have a couple like photography books, a couple Super 8 cameras, a bunch of random Polaroids. This is like a 1950s Danish teak dresser, and I just think it's so sexy. One of the things that I have on it is this Panasonic Orbital TV, which is probably the coolest looking TV in the world.
With all the excitement on TV these days, who says what you watch it on has to be dull? Not Panasonic, not even in black and white. These days, Panasonic gives you more exciting ways to watch TV than anyone else in the world. And for us, that's very exciting. Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
It's a black and white satellite TV. I have some other videos I'm gonna be doing with this. Just gotta get it fixed first. So stay tuned for more on this. I've got this really sick, ancient Kodak poster print thing. Got a couple Super 8s up here. Actually, I think that this is just an 8. It's not actually Super. I've never used it. But this is the Super 8 that I use most frequently. It's a Bauer CM1. My friend Mike over at Retro Photo York actually just sent it to me out of the kindness of his heart. And if you've seen my road trip video, I shot a lot of the Super 8. Actually, any Super 8 that's in that video on this little thing. I love it because it's so simple. It's just 18 frames per second, 24 frames per second, and tele and wide, and that's it. You just point and shoot. Super simple, not too complicated. This is a good one to get. It's also very tiny and adorable. So next up, I want to show you one of the most interesting things that I have in my apartment. It's not the fucking AC, I'll tell you that. It is this record player right here. It's actually a record player, 8-track, and radio, and it's called a Weltron 2005. I'd like to assume this is what they thought things were gonna look like in 2005, back when it was made in the 70s. One of the coolest things about this record player is that it's from Oxford, North Carolina, which is really not that far from where I'm from. I looked up the company that made this. It's still called Weltron, but they just make like cords and stuff now. And on their website, they have like a legacy, like couple posts about this. Like this is their flex piece, and since then they just fumbled. It's crazy, like they could be popping out like this. It's really cool, dude. It's just really, really cool. Next up, my desk. I just got this set up because I was not sure what type of desk I even wanted, but I knew that I needed a standing desk. So after a lot of research, I picked out a pair of standing desk legs off of Amazon. I didn't want to go with like the actual walnut tops that some of these desks come with, because in all of the photos, they just look very like bad. So I got a solid piece of walnut for the desktop. My friend Saxon helped me put it together, and this is my desk. Before we get to what's on my desk, I'm gonna show you what's under my desk, which is nothing. I have a surge protected power strip on the bottom of my desk, 3M, like double-sided taped on there. And what this does is allows me to have no wires or anything hanging out from the bottom of my desk at all. Anyway, yeah, it just very seamless, clean look. So I'll link to everything in the description. because why not? It took me even longer to find my first monitor I've ever owned. This is an LG Ultrafine 4K with an ergo grip, I think. When I was looking for a monitor, the amount of specifications specific to what I wanted was pretty hefty. I wanted a 4K monitor for photo and video editing, a USB-C port so I could connect my Mac easy, a display port so I could connect a potential PC in the future for gaming, and also an HDMI in case I want to connect anything else. On top of that, I really wanted something that was at least 60 hertz. Finding all of those specs and then also finding it in a monitor that had an arm that I could raise so that it would be at eye level with me to help me with my posture while standing was like perfect. So I've been so much more productive using this than just my laptop screen. Next up, we're in my closet, which has been kind of turned into a scanning room. The humming that you're hearing is coming from this thing right here, which is a Fuji Frontier SP3000. It's traditionally a film scanner that you'd find in a full-scale film lab, which is why I have one. I ran a mail-in film lab for a year during the pandemic, moved into a actual physical storefront, and then ended up having to close due to serious chemical sensitivity issues that I could not figure out for the life of me, no matter how much additional ventilation I installed. When I moved out to California to work on videos with CineStill, I decided to keep it. I threw it in a storage unit and I brought it with me when I finally officially moved out here and got an apartment. The Fuji Frontier is a scanner that's capable of scanning 120 film and 35mm. It has respective carriers for both, and I think it produces some of the best colors possible when it comes to scanning film. People ask about this scanner all the time. If you're interested in me making a more in-depth video about it to kind of see what a lab scan tech actually does when they sit behind a Fuji Frontier, please let me know in the comments. I think that'd be a fun video to make. Now, onto the rest of my closet. It's kind of a mess, but there's clothes, some shoes, which if I got into that, it would be a whole nother video, and this cool wooden sketch table that I've kind of just turned into a light table. I like to throw sheets of negatives onto this light table and look at them through the CineStill Instagram filters. It's just such a sick way to look at your images. Okay, let me show you my kitchen and dining room. I finally have a tulip table. I've wanted a tulip table for probably 5 years at this point. I mean, it's just like a classic design. This one's probably like a Target tulip table or something. I got it off Facebook Marketplace for 70 bucks. The real crown jewel though is the chairs. These chairs are original Burke tulip chairs, and for that I am ever grateful for Facebook Marketplace. On the table though, I've got some earrings that I've never worn, some Polaroids of some friends, some glasses, and some good film photo books. Film for Her by Orion Carlotto, which is also a poetry book.
Wow, that one looks amazing.
Okay, well. And then there's Friend of Mine by Matt Day. By the way, this is Walking Svalbard.
Svalbard.
Okay, this is Walking By the way, this is Walking what is it?
Svalbard.
And lastly, I've got a limited edition Volandas skateboard deck that I have not put up on my wall yet. I'm thinking about putting it right here with another skate deck. So if you're watching this and you've got one of those Kodak skate decks, or you'd like to give me a Supreme skate deck for free, DM me, please, because I cannot afford to buy one.
Hey man, didn't you want this?
Yes.
Here you go.
You've seen my dining room, now let me show you my kitchen. My kitchen is...
Dude, this kitchen sucks.
Thanks to Willem, I now have a brand new kitchen. A lot of people's kitchens have a lot more cookware in them, but mine is pretty film processing heavy. So I thought I'd go through and show you some of the stuff that I use whenever I process film at home. Starting with this Noritsu brand dark box / changing box. We actually made a video on how to use a changing bag over on Cinestill's channel, which you can check out right here. I use this box to load my tanks so that I don't have to light seal my bathroom every time I am developing a roll of film. Honestly, I thought I'd have more to say about it, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It also looks pretty cool. Next up, let's talk about the equipment I actually use to develop film with. I put all of my C41 chemistry in amber bottles, and I use this device called a uniroller for continuous development of my film. Unirollers are hard to come by because they're from like the 70s, but you can get a plastic roller from like all over the internet, which I'll link to in the description. If you've never heard of continuous development, it's when you put your tank on its side, you use about 25% less chemistry, and to make up for the fact that you're not submerging your film all the way in chemistry the entire time, you constantly rotate it. I was taught to do 4 rotations forward and then 4 rotations backward, and then just continue that throughout the allotted amount of time needed. Next up, processing tanks. I'll be brief, but I'm a huge fan of Jobo tanks for quite a few reasons. One is that they're modular. You can start with a small tank and expand it over time, which eventually leads to you being able to develop 8 to 10 rolls of film at a time, which is a crazy amount of rolls to do, but I've done it and it works perfectly. Next up, I love the reels. These reels have a little tab on them so that when you expand it to 120, you can put 2 rolls of 120 on there with complete confidence that the film is not just overlapping and ruining itself. Those are some of my big reasons for why I like Jobo tanks so much, but this whole processing area is everything to me. Okay, huge shout out to my guy Kevin for the skate deck. I think it matches the Volandis skate deck quite nicely. Yeah, so this is my apartment in LA. As a first apartment outside of my hometown, I'm pretty happy with it. It doesn't get the greatest sunlight, but that's okay. I can always move if it becomes too much of a problem. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm really hoping to be more open and share more about the things that inspire me, like furniture, space age design, and really kind of step into just sharing more about what I like. Looking forward to uploading on this channel once again. It's been a minute. I don't actually know if I put out a video before this or not, but thank you so much for watching. I'm Linus, and I'll see you in the next one.